Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today is November 13th at Garth Pleasant Arena. Today's matchup is the Rochester College Warriors against the Huntington Foresters. I'm Dominic Santina alongside my partner Jake Rogers, and today's matchup, Rochester comes in at 6-0, Huntington at 4-1. And Jake, do you have a little bit more on this matchup?
Yeah, so RC and Huntington have only faced each other one time in this whole entire history of both schools. It dates back 2013 was the last time these two schools played each other, and it resulted in RC losing to Huntington 34-49. Huntington's played 3 games against WAC opponents this season, even though they're not in our conference, and they're 2-1 in those 2 games, Dom. The one loss come to Indiana Tech where they lost by 20, but we have to remember Indiana Tech's the number 4 team in the country. They're going to put up a fight against anybody.
Yeah, Indiana Tech comes in on the season 4-1 themselves, and looking ahead in the schedule, it's not too long before we're going to have to face them ourselves. And in fact, after tonight, it kicks off 7 of 8 games that will be against WAC competition. So one more good tune-up here before we get into the heat of competition in our conference.
Yeah, and I definitely think that tonight's game is going to be a good measuring stick, for Coach Wichner. This Huntington team's pretty talented. I was looking at their stats earlier. They have 3 girls averaging double-digit points on the season. They have Sam Hamill's averaging 18 a game, Sarah Fryman 15, and Maddie Richard 13 a game, whereas RC only has 1 averaging in double digits, and that's Devin Valco, who went off last game against Concordia for 25 points.
Well, and it seems like one thing Coach Wichner has found to go for this team is his starting lineup. It's going to stay pretty consistent now for the last couple games. It's going to start with Ricky Shirt, Kendra Kujat, Rio Dungeon, Devin Velko, and Brooke Fielder will be your starting 5 for Rochester. So pretty consistent lineup, and I'm guessing we're probably going to see this the rest of the way.
Yeah, I think so too, and I think tonight could be a good bounce-back game for Rio Dungeon tonight, Dominic. She struggled a little bit in the last game against Concordia, but watched her in pregame shoot-around. She looks healthy. She looks like she's got her jumper back, so hopefully it'll be a good night for her, and the Warriors can pull out a win.
Well, with that, we will take a pause here and turn it over to the national anthem and the starting lineups, and we'll be right back after the pregame festivities. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Starting lineups have been announced. National anthem has been played, and we're getting ready to tip off the first quarter. And Jake, you mentioned it during the introductions there. Huntington coming in a lot more experience to this team than what we saw with Lawrence Tech just a week ago.
Yeah, when we played Concordia last week, they were a very young team. Most of their starters were freshmen or sophomore, my apologies. And this team, we're looking at it, Huntington has 4 seniors and 3 juniors, so they're a little bit deeper and more experienced than I believe Concordia was, and that's why I said earlier I think this is going to be a little bit more of a measuring stick for Coach Wichner and the Warriors.
It'll also act as a good tune-up, as we mentioned before WAC play. Rochester in their normal gray uniforms, Huntington in green. And Huntington's going to get the opening tip-off. They're moving from left to right. And Rochester going man-to-man on defense.
This is something we really didn't see against Concordia, where they mainly ran a 2-3 zone to limit the inside game of Concordia, but it looks like Coach Wichner wants to go with the man-to-man tonight, and maybe it's based off scouting report, who knows.
Step back shot there just inside the arc for Huntington. Rebound, Kujat, she gets it in low, but the pass is deflected looking for Brooke Fielder. Now here comes Huntington the other way. Pass on the wing to Moore. She's going to drive. Had a chance to take it, decided to pull it up. Stolen by Kujat, now up to Brooke Fielder, and it's going to go off her foot and out of bounds.
A little sloppy play from Rochester here out the bat. But I think that they'll figure it out and get a little bit cleaner with the ball. And
well, Jake, I think we nailed it in our pregame talk. I think the key, we were talking off air, we got to go down to Brooke Fielder because they have no one near her height in the first 2 possessions. That's exactly what we were looking to do.
Yeah, their biggest players, they have 2 girls at 5'11", and like I said last week during our last broadcast, Brooke Fielder's height at 6'4" is not normal for NAIA basketball. You do not see that.
And we've talked about it a little bit last week as well. Just coordination a factor. Moore knocks one down on the wing for Huntington. Dungeon takes one on the wing for Rochester. Goes off the rim, out of bounds, and it'll be Huntington basketball. Just a minute 30 in. 3-0 lead for Huntington University.
Rochester's playing a really tight man-to-man so far in this game, Dom. We're only a minute and a half into it, but we've already seen 2 full-court presses, and they're playing right up on their men. And as I tell some of my players back home, stick to your man like glue, and that's definitely what Rochester's out here doing right now.
Saylor took a turnaround jumper, no good. Back the other way, Velko launched a 3, but Schreck grabs the rebound. It's going to stay in Rochester College possession. Now Kujat going to drive to Schreck, kick it out to Fielder. Now Dungeon from beyond the arc, no good, off the back of the rim. Fielder gets out-rebounded by Saylor. And here comes Huntington pushing the ball the other way.
That might have been clean, but she might have just gotten her on the wrist as Devin Valco picked up her first foul as she fouls Sarah Fryman, who will go to the line shooting 2.
Sarah Fryman, 5'9" guard, 5'9" forward, a junior out of Huntington, Indiana. Hometown product. She makes her first. Now at the line shooting her second. And that's good. So she goes 2 for 2 from the line. Makes it a 5-0 lead for Huntington.
Huntington's playing almost a full court press as well. Looking to trap the ball in the backcourt, but Schwett's able to get it off to Dungeon, who turns it over, and Huntington has the ball again.
Fryman with the steal. Now she gets it to Doy, trying to set up the offense here. Crossover by Moore. She's going to step back, shoot, and knocks it down. 7-0 lead for Huntington.
This keeps up. I'd call timeout if I were Coach Wichner, as Kuyat is fouled on the side. That's a foul on number 4, Maddie Riker. Will be her first.
That will keep the ball with Rochester, and luckily there, Jake, that you were talking about another turnover. That foul saved one as Kujat had lost the basketball. Now she'll get it in. Get it to Delvin Velko. She'll drive close to a walk, and then it gets it blocked out of bounds by number 22, Doi. It'll retain Warrior basketball.
Here's the one, like we said earlier, Dom, you can already tell this team is much, much more experienced than Concordia was last week for Rochester. And so far, it looks like the Warriors are struggling with it a little bit as we see Kim Charney come to the game.
Kujat down low to Fielder, and there's what they want. She gets her own rebound and puts it back in. And we said she needed to finish at the rim. Luckily, she was able to grab her own rebound that time and put it back in.
Yeah, as we look, she has number 32, Brooke Saylor, on her. Saylor's only 5'11". Fielder has 5 inches on her. That's like Giannis Antetokounmpo guarding Draymond Green down low. It's hard to do anything with it.
Now Saylor trying to post up. Fielder, she gets her, spins around, reverse layup, and doesn't make it, but gets the foul drawn on Fielder.
That's going to be the one thing that Brooke's going to have to be careful with tonight is fouls. We saw last week she got into foul trouble early. It forced her to spend a lot of time on the bench. She had that monstrous second quarter, but after that she wasn't much of a factor. So hopefully Brooke Fielder can stay in the game today, and we can really use her.
Yeah, Jake, 2 ticky-tack fouls late in that game last week against Concordia. She's already picked up her first here, just 3:30 in. Meanwhile, Saylor missed her first and gets a friendly roll on the second one. Makes it 8-2 Huntington, and heavy pressure for Huntington and giving Rochester some troubles bringing the ball up the court. It's going to be tipped out of bounds by number 4, Ricker. It's going to stay Rochester basketball.
As we talked about last week and earlier before the broadcast down, Rochester likes to play really fast pace, and having a team like Huntington play them so tight and play that full court press down the court, it's going to limit them. They're not going to be able to play as fast as they would like to, and you can see that it's forcing Rochester to be sloppy with the ball, hence the 3rd or 4th turnover we've already seen only 4 minutes into the ball game.
Well, Moore got a steal off the inbounds, gives Huntington the basketball, and Jake, it's a different type of sloppy here tonight than we saw against Concordia, as a layup there goes for Sales for Huntington. We saw against Concordia it was fast play and just being careless with the basketball. Today it's just solid defense from Huntington.
Huntington's playing very solid defense as they force yet another turnover there. Devin Valco looked to go to Kendrick Kuyat there and work it back outside, but number 22, Sarah Doi, was able to knock it off of, I believe it was Devin Valco, and Huntington has the ball again as they force yet another Rochester College turnover.
Just seem to be jumping the passes and reading the passes before Rochester makes them, and that takes it back to the fake one to make one, Jake.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And we were talking about this before the game as well. You look at Huntington's head coach, Lori Coach. She's in her 33rd season at Huntington. That means she's been doing something right for a long, long time. And obviously, from what we've seen so far, it seems like she preaches defense, and this team seems very, very defensively sound.
Defense wins championships. They're going to go in down low to number 24, Jade Smith. She gets the turnaround bank shot off the glass, makes it 12-4. And that says something when it's your bench players having half your points already.
Well, the thing is, Dom, you look so far with Huntington being a little bit of a smaller team, it honestly could favor Rochester to go a little small, as we see Ricky Shrett with the steal. She'll go down left side and hand it off to Valco, who dribbles it off her foot, but luckily goes to Kuyat. But as I was saying, having a smaller team, it could hurt Rochester to go a little big because they're going to call those ticky-tack fouls like we talked about earlier.
Well, there was a nice play and a nice decision. Just got a fake one to make one there. As Jade Smith got it in low. Defense collapsed in the post. She was looking for Kim Charney out behind the arc, but hand in the lane. Got a steal for Huntington and a foul on the other end on Rochester.
It was Jade Smith. She got a blocking call. Huntington was driving down the baseline, and Smith was looking for positioning, and she just bumped her just a touch, and they called the foul.
Getting it down low now inside to number 12, Sarah Fryman. Ooh. She turns around and gets fouled. And it's going to go on Ricky Shrett, her first, team 4th. And at the line, shooting 2 is Sarah Fryman, a junior 5'9" guard from Huntington, Indiana. And she sinks the first one.
Yeah, you look up at the scoreboard that's sitting right in front of us, Dom, and Rochester's already committed 4 team fouls as Huntington has 1. That could play a huge factor in tonight's game.
Yeah, Jake, and I'm pretty sure, I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure as Schreck grabs the rebound on the missed free throw, that Huntington picked up the first foul of the game as well. So 4 straight fouls here to Rochester after drawing contact first. Kim Charney gets the ball. She's going to drive left-handed. Defense going to collapse. Nowhere to go with it, but up with it. And it's no good. Rebound, more. And here comes Huntington the other way.
That possession looked a little bit better, Dom. They slowed down a little bit, played. Huntington wants them to play. Huntington wants them to play fast and they want them to play sloppy, but Rochester made a little bit of a change there and played a little bit slower. We didn't get the greatest shot off, but we got to look at the basket, and we didn't turn the ball over. And that's going to be key as we're only 6 minutes into this ball game.
Ricker took a shot and then tipped the rebound out of bounds, gives it back to Rochester, and Dungeon checks back in for the Warriors. Jade Smith moving it around the perimeter now. Ricky Schreck got it in the corner. Shot clock at 10 seconds. Charney now to Jade Smith, wide open, skips it down low. Rio gets it, no good. Schreck goes up with it, 2 seconds, and it's good. Left-hand layup for 2. Cuts it 13-6 with 3 minutes to go.
I'll tell you what, Dom. From what I've seen out of Ricky Schreck this season, she is very, very scrappy, the senior guard out of Ypsilanti. She never gives up on a play. She doesn't care if she's oversized down low or what. She will fight for that basketball, and it's something that Rochester needs right now.
Yeah, that and the person with the ball right now, Casey Bodell, both very scrappy players and thrive on the defensive end for the Warriors, and that's what they need. They have the ability to go in low with Brookfielder. They have the perimeter shooting. They need those guards to go in there and dig out rebounds, and that's what Bodell and Schreck do for you. Dungeon launches a 3, no good, off the back of the rim. Here comes Huntington the other way.
Luckily for Dungeon, those shots are going to fall because we saw her first shot of the day hit front rim and fell out. Second shot back iron. That one just rolled around and wouldn't fall for it. That means the shots are going to come. They're going to fall soon, and once Rio sees one fall, then it's game over.
Kim Charney got a hand in the passing lane and got a steal. Now they threw it down low to Schreck, and she's going to be tied up with a jump ball. Possession arrow in favor of the Warriors. So they'll inbound from the baseline. And Kujak going to come in for Schreck with 2:08 left to go in the first quarter.
You're really not losing much taking out Schreck and putting in Kujak. You know, they're really interchangeable players. Kujak and Schreck are both very scrappy, very quick, and they're very experienced guards. So hopefully they'll be able to lead Rochester here as Dungeon throws one out of bounds as she was looking for the roller and it was never there.
I think she was just ahead of the ball game just a second or two early there. It was going to be there, but she just got ahead of herself and threw it against the back wall.
Yep, the idea was right, though. As she pulls down a rebound, and she will dribble it up the left side. Look at Casey Bodell. Bodell will be fouled.
And there's what you say right there, Jake, about a scrapper. Bodell never afraid to attack the defense, go in strong and get fouled, and now she'll go to the line shooting 2.
Oh, no, I talked to her in class this morning before the game. And I went, so you're going to get some buckets tonight? And she said, always. You know me. I play hard, and that's what she always does. She comes out here every night and plays really hard as the first free throw rolls out.
Shay Kaiser and Devin Velko are going to check back in. And it looks like Coach Brent Witchner is going to go with a deep bench tonight and a rotating bench, as he's not leaving many players out there very long before getting a sub in there for him.
No, when we played Concordia last week, Shay Kaiser didn't come until I believe it was like the third quarter. She's already in here with a minute 42 left in the first. She's a threat from deep. When Shay Kaiser gets the ball in her hands, she likes to shoot it. And that's what I think what Coach Witchner is going to do as we've cut the lead to only 6.
Bodell makes the second one of those free throws, going 1 for 2 at the line. Now trying to work in low. Devin Valco getting the post position there defensively, and she's going to draw a foul. or get a foul called on her.
That's not a good call there, Dom. I'm not going to lie. Devin had her hands up. She had good positioning. Offensive player initiated contact, but every time the offensive player initiates contact, defense is going to be called for the foul. That's just the way the game's played anymore, but that was just good defense from Valco, and you hate to see that whistle.
Sarah Fryman, the one drawing the foul, she makes her first free throw. And now at the line shooting her second. 14-7, 1:26 left to go in the first quarter. And she goes 2 for 2 from the stripe. And here comes a full court press by Huntington again. Kuyat looking for some help. Bodell with a nice pass. Fielder open in the post, drops that.
And
foul and the bucket.
Remember what I said just a couple minutes ago about when Shay Kaiser checked in? She's a shooter. She shoots the ball. She had the ball right there wide open on the wing. She passed it up. Luckily, it worked out for the Warriors, but as soon as she passed it up, I heard Coach Whitner scream, "Shay, next time, shoot the ball." She was wide open. I'm surprised she didn't shoot it, but as we see right now, Coach Whitner's letting her know, hey, you can shoot the ball, so why don't you let it fly next time you have it.
Foul was on number 22, Sarah Doy. She'll pick up her first personal, Huntington's third team foul, and at the line, shooting one, Brooke Fielder. And Jake, it seems like the early season woes for Fielder have kind of been released as she's been able to finish at the bucket now, where early in the season she was kind of struggling with that.
Yeah, she definitely was. She looked like she didn't have any confidence in her game, but she looks like she gained confidence, especially after that monstrous second quarter that we talked about against Concordia earlier.
Let me tell you, Jake, on the roster, number 44, Alexandria Bope, is listed at 6'1", but I think that's a little under size there as she's posting up with Brooke Fielder there, and they're almost
She's got
even.
At least 4 inches. Yeah. They're, maybe they measured her without shoes and Brooke in shoes or something, but yeah, from up here they look pretty even, but I mean I can see a little bit how she's a little undersized, but not too much.
Yeah, we do have a little bit of a height difference up here. We're up in the top of the mezzanine of the arena, so maybe on the floor it's a little more obvious, but from where we're at, not too much of a difference between the two. And it's going to bring a challenge here for Brooke Fielder.
Oh, definitely, but she looked good down low there right just a minute ago, but she couldn't get it to fall. She looked like she got hit across the arm a little bit, but they didn't call the foul, and Brooke got her own rebound, just couldn't get the roll.
Meanwhile, they did call a foul on Ricky Schrett, her second personal, and Rieker makes both free throws, makes it 19-9 with under a minute here to go in the first quarter, and a 10-point lead for Huntington, who have been in control the whole way.
Yeah, I was looking earlier, Dom, and Huntington averages about 70 points a game, whereas Rochester only averages about 60. But at this rate, Huntington's on pace for their normal scoring output, as they have 19 in the first quarter, but Rochester, they're not getting anything to fall, and they look a little sloppy like we talked about earlier. Only 9 points so far, 19 seconds left to go in the first.
Well, that was a good ball possession there and movement on that possession for Rochester. It started with Shay Kaiser, then they kicked it down to Brooke Fielder, who thought about posting up, saw the defense collapse, kicked it back out to Kaiser, who then passed it to Kuyat, and she came up short on the three, but a timeout taken by Huntington with 19 seconds left to go.
Rochester played good D there, though, after the Kuyat miss. They immediately trapped in the corner. They trapped the ball handler, and that's what forced the timeout. You know that Huntington did not want to take that timeout, but with the trap, it was either timeout or a turnover, so good call by Huntington to take the timeout.
You're going to be almost in the corner here, a very tough inbound position for Huntington. And Rochester going full court press, and now going to drop Brooke Fielder deep in case that long ball happens. Here comes Ricker up the court. Shot clock off, 10 seconds left to go on the game clock. Now going to pass it off to Fryman. Fryman going to take it, pull up, shoot at the buzzer, no good. And that'll end the first quarter, 19-9. Huntington with the lead. You're watching the Rochester Sports Network. We'll be right back.
Ready or not. Call me crazy, say my head's too high up in the clouds. It will make a difference, 'cause I can do anything I put my mind to. Superstars come in many colors. We're always dreaming. We're always dreaming. We're always dreaming. Superstars come in many colors. Do you wanna dig at the side of a pharaoh's tomb? Change the world in a lab, coat Orphy tigers at the zoo. Or would you rather paint the walls pink, green, purple, and blue? The world's under construction and waiting on you. We are who we are, we love who we love. We'll find a way to break through and never give up. We are who we are, we'll rise to the top. Get ready 'cause we're coming fast, ready or not. Call me crazy, say my head's too high.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dominic Santina alongside my partner Jake Rogers. Second quarter underway. Huntington with the possession arrow and the basketball. Still moving left to right in those green uniforms. Rochester College in the gray uniforms. And they're going down low now. Fryman on the wing for three, no good. Rebound, Bodell. Here she comes looking to push in transition. Going to attack the defense and lay it up and in for two.
That's what I was getting at earlier with Bodell. She pushes the ball, she plays hard, and that was something that Rochester need. Hopefully it could be a little spark plug for him, put a little run here and narrow the gap.
Well, Jake, I think the big thing there is she was looking at Kim Charney the whole time, which kind of drew the defense her way. And like we said, being aggressive and just attacking the defense, got an easy layup. Huntington moving the ball around the arc, looking for some screens down low and post-ups. So you got a little bit of a mismatch on Bodell down low. No good, though. Avina with the rebound. And they're going to kick it back out and reset the offense.
The smallest player on the court doing the big man's work. You got to love to see it.
Now Ricker, some fancy ball handling, trying to get by Dungeon. Hope comes from Fielder, so she'll kick it. Three from the wing is good. Knocked down by Fryman, makes it 21-11. Charney to Dungeon. Out of Bodell, now down low. Fielder double teamed in the post, but they got a foul away from the basketball.
It'd be on number 44, Alexandria Bope, the 6'1" center.
Oh, Jake,
Got called down low on Fielder.
That could be a big foul right there, and if you can get her into foul trouble, that frees up Fielder down low as they were trying to get it to her, and she just couldn't handle the pass. Now Fryman going to take it, and a nice block by Fielder, but they're going to call for a foul.
They just got her right behind. It was a solid block, but she got her from behind a little bit with the momentum, and that will be her second foul.
Number 12, Sarah Fryman, shooting 2.
Fryman at the line. Makes the first. She went to the line a couple of times in the first quarter.
Yeah, she went to the line 6 times where she was 5 for 6 in the first quarter. You know, she only had 5 points in that first, but they're off from the line. Like we were talking about earlier, Dom, the foul game is the story of the game so far. In the first quarter, Huntington only had 3 personal fouls as Rochester had 6.
Well, and Fryman there goes 2 for 2 from the stripe again, going 6 for 7 now. All 7 of her points coming from the line. And Rochester really trying to set up the 3-point play, and Dungeon loses that one out of bounds as Avina tipped it out of her hands. It'll stay Warriors basketball.
Dungeon's definitely looking to get things going. She's had a couple struggling games these past couple games, and so it would be a good bounce back for her as we get ready for WAC play.
Tip pass there, and I mean, man, Rochester just can't get anything going without Huntington have a hand in the passing lane. Even the inbounds there getting tipped. Now going in low to Jade Smith. She gets double teamed, pressured, and no one was looking at the shot clock. She pivoted and could have gone up with it, but instead looked at Bodell in the corner, and shot clock violation gives it over to Huntington.
Yeah, what we saw just a minute ago as Rochester cut it to 8, it's now back up to 12 for Huntington.
Just got to be basketball aware on the court. That possession, Warriors not being aware of the clock at all. And now Huntington looking for some dribble drive action. As they're moving it around the arc. Shot clock down to 5 seconds. 2 from the wing is good. That was taken by number 11, Erica Zook.
As we saw last week, Dom, as Huntington forces yet another turnover, Rochester was making 3 balls. They're generally a really good 3-point scoring team, but in the first quarter they were 0 for 6 from deep, and that surprises me a little bit, but they're going to have to get it going as now the lead for Huntington is up to 16 as it's 27-11, and Rochester calls timeout.
Yeah, Zook has the last 4 points off the bench after Dungeon threw almost what kind of would almost be a alley-oop pass towards the basket. Nobody was there, and Zook on the breakaway uncontested layup, which made Coach Brent Witchner call a timeout.
Yeah, and he does not look happy, Dom. I just saw him shaking his head, and he threw his clipboard, it looked like, down on the ground in frustration. But Rochester's going to have to let those frustrations go. They just got to continue to play smart basketball. We're a solid team. We're 6-0 for a reason, but you can't let those frustrations get to you.
Yeah, we're talking right now, but if you are not talking, you can hear Brent Witchner right now in this silent gym getting into his basketball team. As you see sometimes in college basketball, the coach is getting a little fiery on the sidelines, and with the way the team has played so far today, going to try to inspire his team to wake up a little bit and make some smarter passes and get some better opportunities at the basket. Try to cut into the 16-point lead.
I just took off my headphones, Dom, to listen in on what Coach Witchner was saying, and he said, do you really want to get beat by a team that is undersized in our own gym, or do you want to play this game and try to pull out a win? And I think that really resonated with the girls, as I saw a lot of them have some pretty shocked and shook faces on the sideline.
Well, Jake, there's perks to having those gyms like Michigan State where the I-zone sells out and rocks the arena, and your opponent can't focus or get into a rhythm. But then you have this arena where, as broadcasters, we can hear everything that's going on in the gym, and kind of gives us a little bit of an inside track without having to have that sideline reporter.
Oh yeah, and we see Shemaya Butler coming for the first time tonight. She was one of the first subs off of Witchner's bench the other night as she steps out on the baseline. It looked like she was shoved a little bit, but they're going to call a turnover on Butler, and Huntington has the ball yet again.
Butler there getting her hand in the passing lane. And it's going to stay Huntington basketball, though, as it went off of her out of bounds.
I think Witchner almost put in Butler for that scrappiness reason. Even though she's a sophomore, she's always played hard in every single game, as Rochester forced a turnover on the inbound, and Kuyat has the ball.
Jade Smith got that turnover, and that was pretty close to almost being an over and back when she caught it on our side of the half-court line and then took 2 steps over. But by the time she gathered it, she was across half-court, and Kujat drives in and draws a blocking foul on number 22, Sarah Doy, her second. Huntington's second of the second quarter. And so Rochester set to inbound from the baseline. No pressure on the inbounds there. It's kind of surprising with how many deflections they've got off that inbounds pass.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was expecting a lot heavier defense, as we see Kuyat with the spin and the circus finish as she tries to cut into this lead a little bit. It's now 27-13 Huntington.
Well, that's what you want to see, Jake, there. Senior leader Kendra Kuyat spinning and driving to the lane and trying to spark this team to wake up, and she picks up a defensive foul there on a hand check. She's been a defensive leader. Now she's trying to be an offensive leader for this Warrior squad.
Yep, she just even looked at the ref a little bit, said, my hand, yeah, it was there, but I didn't push off, and the ref didn't see it that way. He saw a little push-off hand check, and that'll be Kuyat's foul.
That's her first personal. Warriors' second team foul. Evens the fouls at 2 apiece here in the second quarter. Kuyat trying to stay with Ricker, and now they're kind of switching.
They're going back to that little zone defense we saw against Concordia as Kuyat pulls down a rebound.
And it gave Huntington a little bit of issue there. We'll have to see how long before Coach Lori Culler decides to maybe switch up her offense.
Ooh.
And Kim Charney launches a long 3 there from the WAC logo, and it draws nothing but air going out of bounds.
Yeah, she had a little bit of room to work. She didn't have a defender within 6 feet of her. She could have almost took him one dribble and stepped into that, but she threw it up from the C on the WAC logo, and as you said, caught nothing but air as Huntington gets the ball back.
Well, Jake, you know, sometimes in basketball, the hardest shots to hit are those wide open shots. And now Fryman's got the basketball looking to go down low, and good job by Bodell
Great
there defensively,
right there.
sliding over to help and steal the pass. Now a pass to Butler. She gets double teamed, now kick it out, and going to swing it around the arc. Kuyat going to drive, spin, help defense comes. She has to kick it back out to Bodell.
She had Bodell wide open there for a minute as Bodell will drive it into the paint, and she flips up and fills it up. She cuts the lead to 12. It is now 27-15 Huntington as Rochester's on a little 4-0 run.
Nice job there by Bodell. She signaled for Kujat to come get the basketball, moved the defense, and as soon as that happened, she took it herself, laid it up and in, and for 2 points.
That's just 2 seniors doing what they do best, communicating well. They both played each other for 4 years. Kuyat, a 4th-year senior. Bodell, a 5th-year senior. They played a lot of basketball together. That's just knowing what the other person means when they're signaling for that, and it was a great job by Rochester.
Solid defense here. Kuyat deflects the pass, and it causes a shot clock violation on defense. And a great, solid defensive performance there for the Warriors.
Like I said, a couple minutes after we came out of that timeout, Dom, Coach Wichner lit into his team and said, do you really want to lose like this on your home court? These last 3 or 4 defensive possessions have been Rochester's best defensive possessions of the night, and there's a reason why they're cutting back into this lead. If they can continue to make shots and take good shots, there's no reason why Rochester couldn't make this a ball game before halftime.
Well, not only that, Jake, best offensive sets as well. And now Robin Pruitt will check in for Kuyat. And with WAC conference play coming up, and one of those games being that number 4 Indiana Tech that you were talking about, as Jade Smith gets it, can't find it, and rolls off the rim. You got to be at the top of your game heading into WAC play. Otherwise, this 6-0 record could disappear very quickly.
Oh, definitely. Rochester coming off the national championship, as we see Shemaya Butler with the steal. Hands up to Jade Smith. But as I was saying, coming off a championship, you got to have pretty high standards for yourself as Jade Smith takes it inside, and she gets it to go. Now a 6-0 run for Rochester as the lead is cut to just 10 with 3:38 left to play in this first half.
Nice pass there by Robin Pruitt. It was kind of give and go. Jade Smith got it, gave it to Pruitt, and then Smith had room down low to kind of get some room and post up.
Good defense by Bodell. She steals it. She gives it off to Pruitt. She gives it back to Bodell, who can't handle the pass, and it goes off her knee and out of bounds.
They're laughing. They had number 4, Maddie Ricker, spinning in circles between the passing between 2 of them, and it was a beautifully well drawn up play between the 2 on the 2-on-1. And the right decision by Pruitt just unfortunately bounced off the knee of Bodell.
We'll now see number 14, Shade Kaiser, check back in for Robin Pruitt. But like we were talking about earlier, Dom, Coach Wichner is going with a much deeper bench tonight than we saw last week against Concordia. He's already had about 8 or 9 girls play tonight, as we didn't see that many get played until the closing minutes of the game the other night.
Yeah, and at that point, that game was well out of hand. Good job here by Jade Smith on number 32, Saylor. But Huntington grabs the rebound, and Saylor puts it back in for 2 herself. And I believe, Jake, we didn't even see Pruitt play in that Concordia game, so tells you how deep Coach Wichner is going.
Beautiful,
and a nice
right there.
find there from Pruitt to Jade Smith. 4-2.
Pruitt could definitely be a key factor. She's another one of those players that's very, very scrappy and very, very quick, coming in at only 5'5" out of Saginaw. She's a very quick player, but she's also very smart for being a sophomore. I think that she could be a huge addition for Coach Witchner tonight.
Well, you think about that. You got Schrett and Kuyat starting at your guard positions. And then you have Bodell and Pruitt coming in to give them a spell on the bench. Two scrappy players and good enough guard play to rest your two guards.
And Kaiser takes the ball inside. She's fouled from behind and one. Shay Kaiser will do the dirty work. She hits it inside with the foul, and she will go to the line to shoot one as Rochester now has this lead to just 8.
You can definitely feel the momentum in the gym switching towards Rochester, and even the little bit of crowd that is in attendance getting into the game as well, as Kuyat will check back in the game for Kim Charney. Kaiser misses the free throw off the back of the rim, rebounded by number 30, Casey Morton. And Huntington will come the other way and now seeing their lead trimmed to 8 points.
Yeah, remember, this lead was 10 points coming into this quarter, but Huntington went on that tear, that 8-0 tear to start the quarter, and it was up to 18. It almost looked like this ball game was going to be out of reach. But Rochester makes another great defensive play as Kendra Kuyat has the ball on a 2-on-3. She will take it in, spin, give it back to Bodell, and it just travels out of bounds.
Jake, it's almost like their one crutch tonight has been they're ahead of how the play is actually developing. I think Kuyat there was either looking at Bodell or she had Dungeon coming down the sideline there, and I think she was going to try to get it to Dungeon, but she kind of stopped and it went out of bounds as it.
Oh, she traveled right there. She shuffled her feet. You got to call, and then you call a foul like, oh man.
It's going to be a foul on Rio Dungeon.
That's just me being a little biased right there, Don, but did you see that?
I saw a little bit. I didn't get to see, I wasn't looking at her feet.
It looked like, I think it was number 11, Erica Zook. It looked like she got the ball, took one dribble, pivoted, and then shuffled and changed her pivot foot, and they didn't call the foul. Wow. Or the travel. That is astounding.
Meanwhile, number 32, Brooke Saylor, is at the free throw line. She made her first. The second one rolls off the rim, rebounded by Jade Smith. 9-point game with 1:10 left to go here in the first half. We've seen a different Warriors basketball team here in the second quarter after Jake mentioned it. Dungeon from the
Oh,
got it. And here we go.
That's what Rio Dungeon needed to see, Dom. His lead's now trimmed to 6 points as Dungeon gets her first basket of the night, and it's a 3 with the hand in her face. But Shay Kaiser will pick up a blocking foul. That will be her first foul, I believe. And it looks like they'll have it side out.
Shemaya Butler will now check in for Shay Kaiser. And Jake, when it's tight games like this arena, even though it's not sold out and it's not a capacity crowd, it still can get a little rowdy in here. And the fans getting into this basketball game since Brett Witchner kind of ripped into his team and told him to wake up. And they have responded to the call. And now some chaotic play here as the Warriors getting a tip pass now down low. And it's made by Saylor at the rim for 2. 8-point lead for Huntington, under 30 seconds left to go. Shot clock off. Warriors can hold for the last shot here, but they're going to go down low to Jade Smith. Now kick it to the corner. Shemaya Butler for 3 on the wing.
Bang!
She got it.
Now a 5-point game with 10 seconds left. Remember, this is college basketball. That clock does not stop. There's only 6 seconds now. 5, 4, 3, and Huntington will not get a shot off. Rochester cuts this lead from 18 to 5 in about 3 minutes now. That is some of the best basketball I've seen out of this Warriors team all season. Coach Brett Witchner lit into his team, and they probably played the hardest I've seen them play all season. As that was a great comeback to make this only a 5-point game.
Well, Jake, they are staying resilient, but the comeback is not complete. There's still another half of basketball to be played. Huntington leads at the half, 32-27. You're watching the Rochester Sports Network. We'll be back for the second half. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dominic Santino alongside my partner Jake Rogers. We're under a minute till the start of the second half. Huntington University leads 32-27 over your Rochester College Warriors, but it was an eventful second quarter for the Warriors as a furious comeback. I believe 11-point comeback for the Warriors to keep this a ball game after a spark was fueled by Coach Brent Wichner that woke this basketball team up, Jake.
Yeah, you see Rochester was only down 10 going into the second quarter, but that 10-point deficit quickly turned into 18 points, not only 18 points. Coach Wichner wasn't having any of it. He lit into his team at the halftime, in case you guys are just joining us now. Not the halftime, but at a timeout. And that Rochester team went on a very quick 8, 9, 10-0 run almost. They came out, played very scrappy defense, played very patient offense, and they got themselves back into this game. It's now 32-27 Huntington as we start the second half.
Well, Jake, I'm sure that message at halftime wasn't too much different, but the tone might have been a little bit friendlier at the halftime break than that timeout break we saw in the second quarter. Rochester will have the basketball to start the third quarter. They're moving left to right in those gray uniforms. Huntington in the green uniforms, and Kuyat looking for someone to give it to. And a big news there in the second quarter, Jake, Rio Dungeon finally connected on a three.
Yeah, for a minute there, Dom, I thought that Rio was going to pull that at the free throw line. Kuyat is rocking the ball back and forth. She's taking it. She spins. She dribbles it, but she gets called for a travel. She kind of got tied up there. Could have almost called a jump ball, but she had enough momentum going forward where she fell with the basketball, and they called a travel on her as Huntington will get the ball back.
Yeah, she got in a tough position and really had nowhere to go with the basketball. Either way, whatever they called there was going to go Huntington's way, as the possession arrow is in Huntington's favor. And like you said, Jake, crowd, even though it's thinned out, it's still strong and mighty here in Garth Pleasant Arena, and they're getting into it here.
Good call.
We got a travel on Huntington. It's going to turn it back over to Rochester.
As we were talking about in the break when we were off the mics, this school, the thing about Rochester College is even though there's not a ton of people here, this crowd can get rowdy. Rochester comes together as a community almost every event that they're a part of. See Brookfielder back it in. She misses the hook, and Huntington gets the rebound. But Rochester gets together, and they get really rowdy, and they get fiery. And those 50 people or 100 people that are here tonight can almost sound double that, and that can affect teams when they come into the Garth Pleasant Arena.
Well, and it doesn't take much to get them fired up either. That little run, just when we put 4 or 5 points together in a row, Huntington launches a three. That was Ricker on the three, no good. Rochester coming the other way. I mean, even if it's just 4 or 5 points in a row, we get going.
There it is. Rio Dungeon with another three. Sorry to cut you off, Dom.
No, it's all good. That alone gets, you can see the crowd getting back into it here to start the second half. That's what I was getting at, is it doesn't take much to get this crowd going.
No, this is now a 2-point ball game. I'm looking across. I see some of our baseball players, basketball players, hockey players here in attendance tonight. You got you cross country, me golf. There's a lot of other athletes here supporting their friends, but more importantly, supporting their school, and that's what you love to see, and you always see that at Rochester. As Dungeon fires another three, and it rims out. I thought it was going to fall for a second. Rochester was going to get the lead, and if that had happened, down, this place would have gotten loud.
Trent got a steal that led to the Dungeon three, and two things that I'd like to see off the start here. Actually, I'll make it 3 to start the second half. 1, Rochester staying solid defensively and being aggressive. 2, first possession without any hesitation. Brookfielder looked to attack the rim when getting the ball down low. And the third thing, here early in the second half, Rio Dungeon not afraid to pull the trigger as soon as she's catching it.
No, she's already fired 2 threes, and there's only 2.5 minutes that we've played. But definitely you can tell that first 3 going in late in the second quarter definitely did some works for her. As Rochester inbounds the ball, Kuyat has it up top. She looks at Valco, who will fire a 3, and it's through! Rochester's in the lead. You can hear this crowd getting pumped, Dom.
Well, and that's exactly what those 3 things are going to lead to another chance at a championship. for this Warriors basketball team. If they stay solid defensively, they can shoot from behind the arc, and Brooke Fielder is confident in her abilities to attack the rim.
Oh, definitely. And you just saw, as soon as Huntington called that timeout, Coach Wichner was ecstatic. He was jumping up and down. He was enthusiastic. He was showing praise to his team. This team and Coach Wichner, they have a bond that can't be broken. You know, they all hang out in the offseason, and it's great to see. You don't see a lot of schools do that, especially at this level. But to see a team that connects as well as Rochester does, it's a great thing to see. And there's a reason why we're back in this ball game now with a 1-point lead.
Well, Jake, this is the basketball that we have talked about off mics in our Shield Media podcast for our sports teams. This team can be a lot of fun to watch. And when they put it all together, they have the ability to play with most teams in our division in the country.
Get a steal from Dungeon. She gives it to Kuyat, who'll set it up top. Valco has it. She thought about the three. She'll take it in, float it up, can't hit it. Gets her own rebound, and it's tipped out of bounds by number 22, Sarah Doy, as Rochester gets the ball back with a fresh shot clock down.
Yeah, big possession there for the Warriors, and it just seems like when things are going your way, everyone wants to contribute, and you saw Rio with the steal there, and then guards crashing the boards as well. Valco with another three from the wing. No good. Dungeon with the rebound. Kicks it back out to Kujat, and you can tell it's affecting us up here, too. We're getting a little more excited into this game.
We're getting excited out here, man.
Valco on the wing again. No good.
Fielder goes up. She can't get it. It is rebounded by number 32, Brooke Saylor. Huntington will push the ball back up the court. They're working right to left.
Let me tell you, I think if Valco or Dungeon connects on another three, I think you're going to see call a timeout here for Huntington.
It's either going to be that or this crowd's going to be loud. It's going to be one of the two, and I can promise you, I know it's going to be the second one. And
a block by Fielder.
That's getting that crowd a little excited.
Now pushing it up ahead.
She got fouled there. It looked like she dashed to the ball. We have a loose ball foul. It's going to be
on Fielder. It's going to be on Fielder.
That's her, I believe, her third down.
It is her third foul.
And automatically we see Coach Wichner bringing back in number 24, Jade Smith, for Brooke Fielder, who's, even though Jade Smith's only 5'8", she plays much bigger, Dom.
Yeah, she's been very aggressive around the rim, and that's really what's helped her height difference there compared to Fielder.
Oh, good steal by Dungeon, and it's kicked out.
Yeah, I believe it was tipped by number 4, Ricker, out of bounds. It'll stay Rochester basketball. Yep, like you said, Jake, that aggressiveness towards the rim is what helps Jade Smith there.
Oh yeah, she like I said, she's 5'8", but she plays bigger because she's so aggressive. She works her butt off every single play, and she hustles, and that's what you love to see out of players that come off the bench.
Looks like they're trying to set Dungeon up here to maybe try to shoot another three, and there it is.
Oh, nothing but air. You could tell that was a little bit of a broken play right there, Don. They weren't really sure where to go with the basketball, and the shot clock was winding down. Dungeon just had to fire from deep and couldn't catch any rim, as Huntington will get the ball back with 5:54 left to play in the third quarter, as it's 33-32 Rochester.
Yeah, Jake, you could tell that, one, Dungeon's feeling it now because earlier in the game she would have not thrown that up. And two, and that steal there by Schrett. In the hand in the passing lane. Now she's going to give it to Valco on the wing. She's looking for some room to attack. She's going to take it and get fouled.
Here's one thing I've noticed so far, Dom. Huntington hasn't scored this quarter yet. We're almost halfway through this quarter, and Huntington has not put a single point on the scoreboard. Rochester, even though they have that one foul on Brooke Fielder, they're just playing determined and hard basketball so far in this third quarter. And now we see Devin Valco go to the line to shoot two.
Yeah, the foul was picked up by Saylor. It's her second personal. Huntington's first of the third quarter. And Valco knocks down the first, makes it a 2-point lead here for Rochester. And knocks down the second one, now a 3-point lead. And you're right, Jake, solid defensive effort here by the Warriors in the second half. And heavy pressure bringing it up the court has led to multiple turnovers. And when it looked like Rochester couldn't get a pass to go their way, Now it's Rochester with a hand in the lane with a shot knocked down by Ricker. It ties this game back up at 35 apiece. Now in low to Jade Smith. Schratt, Velko from the top, no good. Rebound is going to go to Schratt, even though Jade Smith got a hand in there. Now Kuyat going to settle things down and try to set up the offense.
Velko's going to shoot that.
Velko on the wing, no good. Rebound Saylor.
Once Maddie Velko, sorry, that's her sister, Devin Velko. Once Devin Velko gets one to drop, you know, that could be a spark for her. She hasn't seen one fall since the second quarter, but if she can see one fall, that could be big and it could get her going.
Jade Smith with a solid defensive effort there, blocking the shot. Now Kujat drives, goes off the foot of number 12, Fryman, out of bounds. Rochester basketball.
Looks like number 13, Kim Charney, will come in for Devin Valco, who has played the whole entire quarter so far. Now we only have 2 starters left out on the floor for Rochester right now, and Schratt and Dungeon as Charney fires a 3, and it is off front iron.
She was wide open in the corner there on the inbounds pass and pulled the trigger as soon as she caught it. It's no good, though. And it's almost like when you change the direction you're going, Jake, it's playing a factor into this game. Huntington being a little bit more wild now on this end of the court as Fryman gets it to go for 2 to reclaim the lead. But Rochester playing a lot better basketball fundamentally down on this end of the court, which is where Huntington had the big first half. But now Jade Smith is going to go to the line shooting 2. The foul is on Sales, her 3rd. And all of a sudden, she's picked up 2 quick fouls here with 3:49 left to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, like you were talking about, changing direction and which way you're going can almost affect you psychologically, it seems. You see it in the NBA all the time. Some teams will have a rough first half and can't get the ball to go. It seems like there's a lid on the hoop, and then they change directions and come out firing in the second half, and all of a sudden you have a ball game again. I've seen it with the Pistons. I've seen it with the Lakers. Seen it with the Warriors. As Jade Smith hit both free throws, but the second one we had a lane violation on Rochester, so only one of them will count. Huntington will get the ball with 3:49 on the clock for the third quarter and a 1-point lead.
Yeah, Jake, there's still a lot of time left in a 1-point game, but that's a big mistake there by the Warriors. That would have tied the ball game at 37 apiece. Now it keeps it a 1-point game. And they're going to go down low to Fryman.
Good D right there by Dungeon. Just put her, no-look pass. Charney will take it all the way, put it up, and can't get it to go, but gets her own rebound as Waddell tipped it. And she's tripped from the back. That will be a foul on number 30, Casey Morton, the senior forward out of Granger, Indiana.
Yeah, good job there by Dungeon. She went up strong, stayed her position, and stayed straight up. Fryman drove into her and kind of flopped to the ground, which created the no call. And in transition, Charney had a 2-on-1 with Bodell and didn't give it up, went to the lane and missed the layup. Now she's going to inbound, looking for Schratt down low and over the head, out of bounds. Huntington basketball.
You had a few better options there, Dom. They had a fresh shot clock. They could have easily just inbounded it and worked their offense as they have been all quarter, but they looked for something down low and they forced a silly turnover.
Valco checks back in for Dungeon. Dungeon going to get a break now with 3:20 left to go in the third quarter. 1-point lead, 37-36. Huntington on top of the Warriors. And now at the top is Avina. It's going to be kicked around. Drive in the lane for Huntington. Kick out to Morton on the wing. No good.
Rebound Bodell.
Yep, Bodell's got it. She's going to get it up to Charney. Looking for numbers, not there. Now she has to kick it down.
Good pass.
And a beautiful finish there with the right hand from the left side. Ricky Schratt for 2. And a good find by Kim Charney.
I don't know what was more beautiful there, down the pass to the back cut by Ricky Schratt. She was on the wing when Charney had that ball in the corner, and all of a sudden she was right underneath the basket with no one on her.
Fryman with a nice move around Schratt and lays it up and in for 2. Makes it 39-38. Back and forth we go with under 2:30 left to go here in the third quarter. And they're trying to post Jade Smith up down low. Charney takes a 3, no good. Rebound, Fryman. And here goes Huntington back the other way. Zook going to drive left hand on Bodell, scoop and score. High off the glass, makes it a 3-point game. And now Devin Valco looking at her options on offense, going to cross over,
Good
go
screen
left.
there by Smith.
Dribbles through the legs, not intentionally, but gets it. Now Bodell out to Charney. And she gets it to go. And we got a timeout. Rochester, 30-second timeout. Charney ties this one up at 41 apiece with 1:44 left to go here in the third quarter.
Dom, I've been wanting to say it all night, but we have a ball game on our hands right now. And Rochester is just looking like they're playing a whole entire different brand of basketball than they played in the first half. And right now I'm looking down at the timeout. Coach Wichner is talking to everybody on where they should hedge, where they should screen, all that kind of stuff. Because there have been some ticky-tack fouls tonight. He definitely wants to eliminate those because that's what got us in trouble last week against Concordia.
Well, it's definitely a different tone coming from Coach Wichner on the sidelines than we saw in the second quarter. And part of that is because the 18-point comeback that even saw Rochester take the lead for about a 3-minute span here in the third quarter. Now as we tick under 2 minutes to go, Huntington has the basketball in a tie ball game.
What's wild, Dom, is the way that this game's being played right now. You'd think that this is the fourth quarter, and it's only a minute and 44 left, but we still have another whole quarter of basketball left to play here tonight.
Well, Jake, I think while you're talking, I don't know if you caught that one. They called a foul on Kuyat, and I know you've questioned a couple calls tonight. If I had one to question, that was one right there. They called a hold on the inbounds on Kuyat, and it did not look like a very good call, but we'll leave that up to the officials, and we'll maintain our job up here in the booth.
Well, got it right back, though, Dom. I agree with you. When I was watching that, as I was talking, Huntington threw that ball away. And Kuyat may have just gotten the Huntington offensive player on the hip as the ball is already traveling out of bounds. It's a ticky-tack foul, but luckily for Rochester, Huntington makes a mistake and travels and gets the ball right back.
Yeah, Vina travels for Huntington, gives it to Rochester. And Bodell looking to drive, going to go strong to the rim. And they got a foul called on the drive. Bodell misses the shot, so she's going to go to the line shooting two. Foul's going to be on number 30, Morton. That's going to be their fourth team foul of the third quarter. Morton's second. Fouls 4-2 in favor of Huntington. Bodell at the line. Knocks the first one down. This gym went dead silent, Jake.
Oh, yeah, they've been going dead silent for every single free throw. They're letting Rochester just focus and make sure that they go through their routine and get that ball to go in. As we now see the Warriors at 42-41 as Bodell gets ready to shoot her second free throw.
This is where many games are made and broken, is at the free throw line, and Bodell goes 2 for 2, makes it 43-41.
Yeah, we look back here in the first half stats. We're only 1 for 4 from the free throw line, as Huntington was a total of 11 for 14 from the stripe. That was a huge difference for us in the first half, but it's almost looking different for us right now, as I don't think we've missed a free throw this half yet.
Well, Jake, I'm a little confused what was going on there. We had to stop and play. Kujat got checked out for, and then Coach Wichner put her right back in, and it messed with the scores down there at the table. And so maybe Coach Wichner thinking better of bringing Kujat out of this game as Shea Kaiser checks in. Rebound and a foul on Valco as Zook got the rebound, drove hard to the rim with the left hand, missed it off the backboard and the back of the rim, but she's going to go to the line now, shooting two with 48 seconds left to go in the third quarter and a 2-point deficit.
Here's an area of concern for Rochester is that Devin Valco just picked up her third foul, and we still have 10 minutes left to play in this ball game.
Well, I think that's why Coach Wichner just substituted Rio Dungeon in, and she's going to take Valco spot, and Kujat will take Shret's spot. And I would probably assume that you'll see Fielder and Valco back in to start the fourth quarter with 3 fouls apiece. Well, Rochester has taken care of business while Fielder has been on the bench, and a nice break here off the inbounds. Jade Smith thinking about going up with it. Now in trouble as she lost her dribble, gets it to Shret, and a 3-second violation on the Warriors. will turn it over back to Huntington in a tie game. Zook made both her free throws, 43-43. And now Warriors going with a press and now falling back into man-to-man defense. Shot clock and game clock, about 5-second difference. Coach Wetchner giving signals on the sideline and trying to inspire his defense to get a stop here. Shot clock down to 7 seconds. Shot on the wing from Morton. She knocks it down.
You got to go quick for Rochester. Only 6 seconds left.
Bodell's got the ball in her hand. She's going to attack. 3, 2, 1.
Can't get it to fall.
And a good no call there at the end as Bodell came down. Morton tried to take a charge. A good no call there by the referees. Let that one finish out. 46-43. A well-controlled half by the Warriors, but they still find themselves down 3. You're watching the Rochester Sports Network. We'll be back in a minute.
We're back with fourth quarter action here at the Garth Pleasant Arena. The Warriors are down 46-43 to Huntington University, and what has been a very inspired last couple quarters of basketball down.
Yes, it has, and it's seen Rochester come back from an 18-point deficit in the second quarter to, in fact, take the lead there in the third quarter, now down 3, and we got a clock malfunction. It's going to stop play here.
I'm not going to lie, I had a little bit of a skip beat in my heart there. She called something. I was like, oh, man, are we actually going to get the ball again really quick here in the beginning of the fourth? But it was just a clock malfunction.
Yeah, Jake, it seems like it's going to be one of those barn burners here down to the final moments. And it's a good test for the Warriors. They've been resilient. They've came back in this game, and they've played well here in the second half so far. And that's what they're going to need to do in WAC plays. A nice move there by Fryman, but it goes off the rim, no good. So hard work does not pay off in the end. And instead, Warriors going to have it down low to Jade Smith. She's triple teamed, goes up with it with the left hand, and then is going to pick up a foul after missing the shot. It's going to be Warriors' first team foul. James Smith's third foul, and here comes Devin Velko and Brooke Fielder back into the game. So they didn't start the fourth quarter, but they're in here just 30 seconds into the fourth quarter. And Morton going to get the inbounds. A little bit of pressure from the Warriors here as they bring it across half court, does Huntington.
Rochester falls back into that man-to-man defense that they've been playing a lot of this ball game.
Fryman going to take it. Her shot is deflected by Rio. She gets her own rebound. Rebound Bodell. Here they come the other way.
Valco for 3, and she can't hit it. Brooke Fielder chases down the board, but she steps on the line out of bounds. But I'll tell you what, Dom, you have to love to see that effort and hustle out of Brooke Fielder playing with 3 fouls.
Yeah, Jake, second efforts is what's going to dictate this game along with free throws. And right there, you like to see it out of Brooke Fielder. Even though she stepped out of bounds, good effort, and you got to reward that if you're Brent Witchner.
And
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you're good.
All right. It looks like all the starters are back in for Rochester as Ricky Schrett checks back in. It's a 3-point ball game as Huntington has the ball with 17 on the shot clock.
Dead ball. Now Valco's got it. We've got a jump ball situation. It'll be Rochester basketball as the possession arrow favors the Warriors. And now Kim Charney going to check in for Brooke Fielder. And you have to wonder if it's a can't be a defensive for offensive situation there for a fielder. You just got to wonder if Coach Wichner is going to try to protect her till late in this game.
I don't know if it's that or it is almost just bringing in an extra shooter almost. With it being a 3-point game, you want to have a little extra shooter, and Kim Charney, I mean, is not undersized by any means. She's 5'8". She can play power forward and center out there right now. I mean, you got 5'8" Charney. You have 6' Dungeon, who's probably playing the center right now. You have Valco, who is 5'10". You have plenty of height out there, so I don't think it's really necessarily a defense or offense thing, but just getting more shooting in there.
Well, Devin Valco got ahead of herself there at the top of the arc. She took steps before driving down the lane. She does a good job defensively there to alter the shot. Fryman's going to grab the rebound, though. And now Kujat is going to rip it away. Numbers not in the favor for the Warriors, so they'll pull it out. Now skip it down low to Schrett, and she's going to get fouled. Kind of got bailed out there as the pass got deflected.
Yeah, she did, but I think Schrett almost would have caught that ball. She definitely got hit from behind as the Warriors will reset with the full shot clock from underneath the basket.
Fouls on Fryman, and surprisingly, that's her first. She's played majority of this game, and just now picking up her first foul. So a solid defensive player. Meanwhile, Valco is going to drive and loses it as she went into the defender of Doi. And it's a turnover, Huntington basketball. 7:25 left to go here in the game. 3-point game. Morton for three. She misses it. She had made her last one that gave them the 3-point lead. And now here comes Kuyat off the tip pass. Going to bring it up.
Oh, good pass. Good cut.
Charney to Schrett, and the layup's good. 4-2.
Immediately after Charney threw that, she pointed a finger right at Ricky Schrett's like, hey, good cut. I see you out there. And that was a beautiful backdoor cut by Ricky Schrett.
And a nice finish as well as she was pressured on the shot and did not hesitate to catch and go up with it. Did not allow her defender much time to get over there. Now it's a 1-point game, 46-45, under 7 minutes left to go. Pressure on the defensive end, kick ball, it's going to go out of bounds, and Devin Valco trying to save it for the Warriors. Is out of bounds. When she touches it, it'll turn it over.
Great hustle by Valco, but we got even more hustling right now as Casey Bodell will come in for Devin Valco. Casey Bodell, one of those key factors for the Warriors' late run in the second quarter.
We got two of our scrappy players in there, Jake, in Schrett and Bodell, and now Dungeon pleading her case to the official as she is called for a foul. That's her second personal. Team second here in the fourth quarter. At the line, shooting two is Fryman. First one is up, and it is good. Makes it a 2-point lead. Fryman's second free throw is up, and it's good. Both of them nothing but net. Makes it 48-45, 3-point lead for the Foresters. And now we got a foul on the floor as Bodell was going for the drive. It's going to be Rochester basketball. Foul on number 4, Ricker. Her second, team second. And now inbound's going to go to Charney. And Rio almost travels there. She lost her balance catching the pass. Looking to post up. Rio looking to post up down there, down low on Morton. Pass is deflected out of bounds. Rochester basketball.
Rochester will luckily be able to side out here instead of be underneath the basket, so they'll have a little bit more room to work on this inbounds pass.
Dungeon will inbound to Kuyat. Gotta wonder if they're going to try to set up a three here for Dungeon, and there it is. Not open, though. She thought about it. Now going to drive spin, and they're going to offensive foul.
That is not a good call. You have to extend your arm in order to pull a spin move off. That is just not a good call at all, and you can tell on Dungeon's face that she did not like it whatsoever.
Dungeon not even going to plead her case, just kind of laugh at the call. She's felt that the last couple calls have not gone her way. It's her third personal, Warriors' third team foul of the fourth quarter. And now Zook to Fryman.
Nothing but bottoms there.
looking to see what the call was there. It looked like her foot was on the line, and it was. It's a 2 for Fryman. Makes it a 5-point lead. And you have to wonder if Witchner is thinking about bringing Rio out here. She's getting a little
agitated and frustrated.
Yeah, and making a couple bad passes here as that one's going to be tipped out of bounds. Warriors basketball. First one she threw into her defender's legs, and that one threw looking for Shrett, who was double teamed. And Charney going to get the inbound now to Kujat.
How much longer do you think we'll see until Devin Valco comes back in the game, Dom?
I think it's not going to be long before, as it's a kick to Charney in the corner for 3. And I could tell from where we're up here, Jake, when she released that, a little too much arc on it and it was going to be a little short.
Yep.
Rebound Huntington. I think you're going to see maybe in another minute.
Oh, or right now.
Or right now. Here comes Valco. I'd give it another minute maybe before we see Brooke Fielder as well back into this game. A 7-point game. And depending on what this possession does for the Warriors, you might see Witchner call a timeout as well before he lets this game get away. Charney now to Bodell in the corner for 3. Long. Shrett going to hustle. Morton going to grab it out of bounds. And we got a foul on Kruyat as Fryman had the rebound. A little bit of a scramble play, and they're going to call a foul on Kruyat.
Did she even get a piece of her, though, is the thing. How do you call a blocking foul if you don't get a piece of her?
Well, she did come sliding in on the back. I don't know how they could call a blocking foul. I could see maybe some other contact. Blocking.
I can see loose ball, but I don't know how that is a blocking foul.
Yeah, exactly, Jake. I agree with you there. Charney going to check out. Valco now in for the Warriors. And hoping get a piece of that pass was Valco, but it's going to stay Huntington basketball. And with under 5 minutes left to go here, a 7-point lead as Huntington's gone on a little bit of a run here. And now on the wing, a 3 by Doi, no good. Rebound, Bodell. Here she comes. She's going to push it. Now to Shrett. And she's going to be double teamed down on the baseline. We got a timeout, Witchner. 30-second timeout to save the possession, as the possession arrow is in favor of Huntington. And Jake, I think that timeout was needed anyway.
Yeah, I think it was too, Dom. You know, Rochester was starting to get a little bit careless with the ball and pushing too hard. They got to remember, there's 4:26 left in this game. If you think about it, 4:26, you really don't think it's a lot of time, but it really is. There's a lot of time left in this ball game. It's only a 7-point game. Just a couple stops and a couple buckets, and you're right back in this.
Well, Jake, we saw how quickly they climbed back in down 11. 7 is by far not out of the question. And we'll just have to see, especially if you get Devin or Rio feeling it from deep. 2 of them, they connect on 2 straight threes and a stop defensively. It's a 1-point game again.
Oh, yeah. And what I'm surprised is Brooke Fielder did not come back in the game here out of that timeout, but it almost might be a smart move for Coach Witchner.
Valco trying to get free, and now they're going to kick it out to Rio on the wing for 3. And she got it! She got it!
Did you call that Dominic Santina?
Well, now we just need another one to go, and that's a big confidence booster, and there's the defensive stop. Huntington throws it out of bounds, trying to inbound it. And now here we go. Now we just need another Valco 3 or Rio.
If Devin Valco hits a 3 right here, you got to change your major from communications to psychology because you're a wizard.
It looks like they're running the same play here, and they're going to give it to Shrett at the top of the key. Now to Rio. She's going to drive, spin, but loses it. And here we go the other way.
We cannot let Huntington score here. This is a big possession for Rochester.
Momentum swung in our direction after that dungeon 3. Now they need a big defensive stop here, pressuring the ball at every turn. Ricker trying to drive on Kujat.
Only 8 on the shot clock.
Valco trying to tie her up. She's got to be careful. Shrett goes up into the air. Shot on the way. No good. Rebound Shrett. Here we come.
Shrett will slow it up as it would have been a 4-on-1 break.
Now she's dead. Looking for some help. Gets it to Bodell. Now to Valco in the corner. Down low to Rio. Trying to post up. Loses it. Valco. 2. No good. And nobody crashed the boards for Rochester. Rebound Fryman. Doi with the ball now, going to slow it down. 3:10 left to go here in the game. Going to go down low now to Fryman. Shrett, good steal by Shrett.
Oh, no, they did not call that a jump ball. Shred had the possession.
Well, either way, it'll now turn the possession arrow in favor of Rochester. So if there is another jump ball situation, it'll be in favor of Rochester. But for the time being, Huntington got the basketball up 5 with 3 minutes left to go. And Ricker right now running the offense for the Forester. She's going to try to drive on Kujat. No good. Morton. Now Ricker. Shot clock expired. A 2 goes, and they said they got it off in time.
Can we get a replay? Send it to Sakak because I need a replay on that one.
6-point game. Forester's on top. Kujat with the drive. She's going to be fouled. Comes up short on the shot, so she'll go to the line shooting 2. And Charney going to check back in for the Warriors.
Sarah Doyle. Her third. Number 3, Kendra Kuyat, will shoot 2.
Interesting call.
Kuyat's first free throw. Friendly roll around the rim. Goes in. A little nerve-wracking, but a good sign there for the Warriors that the free throw does go. Right now, the Warriors need every free throw to go in to help their cause and to help stage another comeback. That one does not, and it's rebounded by Morton. Here
they got to look down, the wide open man.
And there it is, Ricker sneaking out on the backside, no help defense, and it's a 7-point lead once again. So after that dungeon 3, lax on defense. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back, right, Jake? We're back.
Yeah, I think we're back, but we have a 1-point game here, folks, with 10.4 seconds left. It'll be Huntington basketball underneath Rochester's hoop. So they will have to go 94 feet in 10 seconds. Will Coach Wichner have them take a foul here?
Well, we'll recap what happened during that, and now we're going to have a timeout by Huntington. They want a little more time to discuss what happened. So while we were down with the stream, sorry for the technical difficulties, Coach Wichner told Rochester not to foul. We got into a deflected pass and a jump ball situation that gave us the possession arrow. We were looking for a 3. Kujat got it down low to Schrett. She missed it. Velko grabbed the rebound, put it back in for 2, which cuts it to a 1-point game. We've had timeouts now by Rochester and Huntington, and that sets it up where we are now. 10.4 left to go, 56-55. Huntington still with the lead. The ball and the possession arrow. So, Jake, you almost have to feel like they have to foul here in this situation.
If I were Coach Wichner, I would be foul. If you don't get a steal on the inbounds or a deflection, foul as soon as that ball is in somebody's hands. You can. The clock is so valuable. It's only 10.4 seconds left here. The clock is very, very valuable.
We got a foul on a hold on Pruitt.
Oh, that is not a good call.
I don't know, Jake. She kind of had her arm wrapped around her.
Oh, no, I know. I'm saying not a good call as in
not even.
It's a bad time. Yeah. It's a bad time to commit it. But luckily, no one touched the ball. If you think about it, there's still 10.4 seconds left on the clock.
The only bad thing there is for Rochester, even though the clock is saved, as Doy's going to go to the line and try to shoot 2.
And she rattles out the first one.
This means it's still a live ball game for the Warriors.
We have no timeouts left, Don, mind you that. No timeouts left for the Rochester College Warriors.
Well, they had plenty of time to talk over what goes on defensively and offensively as Dungeon checks back into the game. Now it gives the Warriors not only a chance to tie it, but win it here on the next possession. Dungeon's in, Velko's in. Doy's at the line. She makes the second one, so it's a 2-point game. Do you go for the win or for the tie? I guess we'll find out here. Kujat looking to drive.
She loses it, and that will be the ball game, folks, as it looks like Huntington is going to the line up 2 with 1.5 seconds left.
Well, Coach Wichner now talking to Kujat 1. Trying to keep her head up as they still have 1.5 seconds left to go, but 2 also, kind of trying to see what Kujat's plan was there. She had Dungeon down there and maybe trying to draw the defense to get Dungeon set up for a 3.
That's what it looked like.
As Doy makes her first.
She rims us out. You got to grab and just chuck it and hope for the best.
You got Shrett and Kim Charney
And
down
she
low.
knocks it down. That will be ball game. It was a
pass it to Dungeon and out of bounds.
It was a heck of a ball game, though. I'll tell you that, Dom. Rochester was down 18 at one point in this game. To lose by 4 to a team like Huntington, it was definitely a good comeback.
Definitely showed that there are some fight in these Warriors. Huntington now moves to 5-1 on the season, knocks down another WAC opponent. The Warriors now move to 6-1 on the season, a historic start for these Warriors, and now they will move on to Cornerstone tomorrow here at 5:30. It'll be a doubleheader between men's and women's basketball, and that'll kick off a run of 7 of 8 games for the Lady Warriors in WAC conference play, as then they will see the number 4 ranked Indiana Tech on the road, Lourdes, and then a slew of other games before Christmas break. For Dominic Santina, I'm Jake Rogers.
For Dominic Santini, you're Jake Rogers. Other way around, big guy.
Oh, man.
It's one of those nights.
It has been one of those nights. It was a thrilling ball game. We'll try this again. For Jake Rogers, I'm Dominic
There you go.
Santina. This is Rochester Sports Network. Thanks for watching.